All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless me here talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there just like you right there and just like me right here. Okay. Perfect Plan. I got the t-shirt, I got the CD. I really like this band. Kent Hilly, who is a really amazing vocalist. In fact, I've seen comments where I've gone out on Twitter and said, "Wow, love this band," and people say, "I hate that guy, but he's right about Kent Hilly and Perfect Plan." It's so great to wake up and know that there are people that just hate you because you have opinions. But anyway, Perfect Plan, Brace for Impact, coinciding with Selection Day here in the United States, where anything here's my little plug on Selection Day. Anything that has a modem, a wireless modem, that's going to tabulate information and then process that information and then send it along to those people who are going to give you a result, I would be really skeptical if that information that you're getting today on Selection Day, right, is that information going to be reliable? Now, I know there are some places that aren't participating in the wireless modem day. But wow, people, I might have more to say on this on my other channel, which is the Radical Independent. But yeah, today's an interesting day. And for some people, after this happens, whatever's going to happen, people are going to be like, are there any other countries that say run really good, clean, free elections? Are there? Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne is thinking that maybe the UK is better, right? Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. I'm going to give you the real reason why the Osbournes are leaving the United States. And it isn't our election system, right? It's not that. It isn't what was said a few weeks ago that school shootings were the reason that the Osbournes were leaving. No, it's a bit more clear cut than that. And the media likes to kind of gloss this over. Why would the Osbournes want to leave the United States? I mean, it's actually really simple. And this goes back to the incident, first of all, with Sharon Osbourne. In speaking about their decision to move, Ozzy says that Sharon's departure from the U.S. talk show, The Talk, by the way, I mean, super creative name for a talk show, The Talk. We're running out of ideas. I mean, imagine being in that room spitballing ideas. Hey, I got a name for this. Yeah, what is it? How about The Talk? Oh, that's brilliant. This is great branding. Everybody will remember The Talk. Anyway, so in the case of Sharon Osbourne, what happened was she asked former co-host, and you probably already know the story, Cheryl Underwood, to explain how Piers Morgan's comments about Meghan Markle's then recent interview with Oprah Winfrey were racist. Okay? And so by association, Sharon Osbourne was essentially called a racist. And she went off on air with Cheryl Underwood. I think she was just really disappointed and hurt and confused. And I've seen the footage, and it's like, what are you saying about Sharon Osbourne? So again, if you don't play the game with these people, and you have to basically always apologize, right? So, Ozzy and Sharon happen to be of a certain, color and from a certain background. And people imply all the time that just because you have those characteristics, that makes you a racist. So Ozzy Osbourne goes on to say, when my wife got called a racist, she's not a racist. Her friend is Piers Morgan. She didn't say, I agree with him. She just respected his ability to have freedom of speech. Oh, so freedom of speech. Okay, so here's a translation for those people who don't understand. Freedom of speech is kind of like hate speech, right? Because that's what you hear every single day. It's hate speech. If my opinion isn't part of the narrative, then obviously it's hate speech. I mean, you don't agree with what the state is telling you. You don't agree with the media. You have your own opinions about things. It's selection day here in the United States. Did I tell you that already? Selection day. Anyway, Ozzy, pretty clear here for a guy who's got Parkinson's and is a bit older. He says, she didn't say, I agree with him. She just respected his ability to have freedom of speech. That's all that she said. And she got a lot of flack from that. We actually had to have armed security guards and all of that following that incident. Now, I'm translating a little bit because Ozzy dropped an F-bomb there, but armed security guards because Sharon didn't say something and everybody made it out to be, what, something that it wasn't. And the Covington thing comes to mind. Remember that Covington kid, the kid who was just standing there and smiling, and everybody called him all of these names because he was standing there and smiling while a guy was beating a drum in his face. And the media just threw him under the bus. Same thing here with Sharon Osbourne. So that's one reason why the Osbournes are leaving the United States. Now, Sharon adds to this, but not on the same topic. She says here, it hasn't gone sideways, it's gone down. Sharon talking about Los Angeles. It's not a fun place to live. It's dangerous here. Every big city's got crime, wait for it, but I don't feel safe here. Neither does Ozzy. Oh, okay. So I was told the last week or so that crime is being used as a weapon. In other words, if you tell people that there is crime and you show them hard statistics, here was crime before this person was in office, here's crime now while they're in office. But Dave, we don't care about statistics. What we care about is how you feel about something. Okay, so Sharon feels like it's not safe to live in LA. Okay, so that trumps all of the statistics. But I think Sharon is right. She has a right to feel, a certain way about crime, but we're being told that that's just something that is trotted out, at election time or selection time, to make people feel as though, there's a crisis when there is no crisis. Like letting hundreds of thousands of people just walk into the country. That's not a crisis. That's what we do. Now, even as a libertarian kind of guy, I welcome immigrants, right? Legal immigrants with a peaceful motivation to be here, immigrants that want to prosper in a free market economy. I am 100% for that. And yes, we need to know, hey, why are you here? You could be fleeing a country that has gone down the tubes like Venezuela, some of which we kind of pushed along here in the United States, by the way. But that's another video. I don't want to go down that trail. Maybe I'll do something on the other channel that I have called The Radical Independent, which you should subscribe to. Anyway, Ozzy says, to be honest with you, I don't want to go back to England. F that. Now, he might not want to go back to England because maybe it's the same. Maybe there are many of the same issues. Now, people will say, well, they don't have firearms over there. No, they just have stabbings and attacks in other ways. It's not like they have eliminated the human experience of anger and psychotic behavior. They haven't gotten rid of that. And, people who like the Second Amendment tend to say things like that, like, okay, it's not the gun that shoots itself. It's, somebody who might be mentally unstable, and mentally unstable people do things like driving cars into groups of people, because that's happening. That has happened. Anyway, it's interesting because that's the real reason. So again, to summarize here, the Osbournes are leaving the country, number one, because Sharon was called a racist, and she's been tarnished for the rest of her life. I think she has some kind of show or feature over on Fox Nation. I think they gave her a platform, or she did like a 1 or 2 special shows. I don't know all of it. I'll have to do some research on it. But you might be able to see Sharon if you like. I like Sharon Osbourne. She seems pretty cool. And the other reason, according to Sharon, is it's too violent in LA and there's too much crime in LA. So she wants to get the hell out of there. Makes good sense. And there's a third motivation. And this is it. The Osbournes' return to England will be documented in the upcoming series Home to Roost. Now, maybe Home to Roost is the Fox Nation thing I'm talking about, or maybe it's just independent of any normal television platform. I don't know. I'm sure somebody who has some backbone will pick up the series, because it'll probably be entertaining. The Osbournes, if they're anything, they're really entertaining. After all this time, the Prince of Darkness and his wife, they are a power couple for sure. And we wish Ozzy the best. The guy's got Parkinson's disease, and he's got a new album out there that's actually really good. Features some pretty interesting musicians on it, and I would definitely recommend it. And speaking of recommendations, Perfect Plan right here, baby. Brace for impact on Selection Day 2022. I know people are going to say, Dave, this is going to be great. It's going to work out great. Everything is going to go according to plan. And when it doesn't, when it goes off the rails or is drug out for days and days and days, and people get frustrated and angry and can't believe what they're hearing and seeing, then come back to me and say, okay, maybe you were right, Dave. And if I'm wrong, it'll be cool. It'll be so cool to be wrong. It's like going to bed with your team down by 3 touchdowns, like I did one year when I was rooting for the New England Patriots. True story. I turned the game off. I said to my wife, this is ridiculous. And then I wake up the next day and the Patriots had won the Super Bowl in the most amazing comeback in sports history. And I missed the whole thing, right? I did get to watch it, on the summary, which is actually really cool because you just get the plays one after another. So in this sense, maybe I'll go to bed tonight and things will be looking good, and I'll wake up the next day and they'll be even better. Or I'll go to bed thinking things look good, but everybody, we've got to stop counting and we've got to wait because of all of these ballots that are mysteriously coming in from places and from, harvesting organizations. I don't know, people. I am getting more and more black pilled by the day, the hour, the minute. It just is really frustrating. That pendulum, okay, hope it swings back, but then what are they going to do? They're going to try to pull that pendulum back. And I think it's probably a discussion for my other channel, so you should check it out, The Radical Independent. Also, if you can help the channel out financially, Patreon for $1 a month. Watch the videos. I'm getting subscribers, but at 1/4 the rate I was getting them prior to the demonetization issue, which happened, 4 or 5 weeks ago, which was really scary. But things financially have gone way down since that point. So if you can afford $1 or $2 a month, I'll be honest, it doesn't make up for the amount of revenue I'm currently losing. And I know some people are probably really happy about that. In fact, I'm sure there are some people who may have said something to someone, and now I'm, just begging for the crumbs to fall off the table. So in any event, folks, I could really use your help. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate all my current patrons over on Patreon. Over on Odyssey, we have this thing called memberships over there. It's $5 plus, I don't know, some fees that they add into it. But that would be cool if you like watching me over there. You'd rather patronize Odyssey, $5. Technically, they get the fee, but all of that goes to yours truly. So it's a good way to, I guess, take an alternative approach to helping out the channel. So there you have it, folks. The real reason the Osbournes are leaving the United States.